What's going on, guys? It's Arrow. Everything is changing about trade in Path of Exile 2, and soon Path of Exile 1. We just had a bomb dropped on us yesterday that not only are we getting asynchronous trade, but there's going to be an in-game browser. We're going to talk about the best ways to buy items, how to snipe the really good stuff, and how to avoid getting scammed. Let's go. So let's start with the big news. There is a huge change to the way that we trade in Path of Exile. It is going to be the in-game browser. Now, it's not going to have the full functionality of the website, but it's going to allow you to use the browser in the game so you don't have to leave, use your second monitor, open up a laptop if you're on console, and it's going to be fully integrated with the new asynchronous trade system, which will allow you to click a button and move to someone's hideout to buy an item. This brings a lot of good things to Path of Exile, but it also brings the possibility of new scams. So we're going to talk about both of those things today, but let's start with the good stuff. The good stuff is you're going to be able to get good deals on items. You're going to be able to do it quickly. No AFK, no changing of prices. This new system will protect against all of that, which means the new system is going to be about finding a good deal as quickly as possible, which comes with positives and negatives. The downside is that this is going to prey on FOMO. People are going to be trying to get to your hideout the quickest to get an item, and it's going to result in some competition. That competition breeds the fear of missing out, and it's going to lead to some mistakes. So how do you avoid making mistakes? Let's start with trade search parameters. If you want to win this race to get a good item, you need to have a very, very efficient trade search. So let's talk about the things that can make a search good or bad. So let's say that you want to buy a bow. Starting with putting a bow into the item category is really important. And if you're trying to find a good rare bow, you could put rare in here. That'll prevent you from pulling uniques that match your search parameters. That's a pretty easy one. I don't use this very often, but it can help when you have live searches active that you worry might pull in some uniques. Let's say you're just looking for a good base. You want to get a good deal on a high quality base. Now, over quality doesn't exist yet in Path of Exile 2, so we're just going to use 18 quality, something higher than that. And then you can search for an item level. Items in Path of Exile receive modifiers depending on their item level. You can only get certain mods at certain tiers. So let's say we want to get something that's at least, say, 84. Now, if you're looking for a base, you probably don't want a few things. You don't want it to be mirrored. Mirrored means you can't craft on it. You don't want it to be corrupted. That means you can't craft on it. So when we do this search, we're going to come up with a list of bows that follow all of these parameters. Obviously, 163 is too many. So let's say we actually just want to see cavalry bows. This is the particular type we want for no reason. Now we're down to 10. If you were to click an active live search on something with 10 results, you're probably going to see something once every hour or so. So you have to decide how many items do you actually want to look at. The truth is, the more items that pop up on your live search, the more likely you are to miss something or make a mistake. You want it to really hit the perfect item. So keep these things in mind. Item level matters, rarity, category, quality, mirrored and corrupted are huge. But all of this is to say, make a very specific search. You basically don't want to see anything that you're not going to buy, because every item that you look at that you're not going to purchase is a waste of your time. And it increases the risk that you'll buy something that actually isn't what you want. Let's say you chose not to include corrupted no on here, and you had to manually filter out each corrupted item that popped up on your screen. When that really, really good deal shows up, you might miss that it's corrupted. So be careful with your trade searches, and the better they are, the more likely you are to snipe the item that you're looking for. Number 2 is scams. Scams are not gone. Scams are just changing. Price fixing will still happen. As far as we know, we're going to get a search parameter that can be changed in here that will show you either instant buyout items, items using the traditional trade system, or both. My suggestion would be to always start with instant buyout items. And if you don't find the thing you're looking for, you can open it up to all search parameters and use the old trade system still. If you use the instant buyout system, you really can't price fix in a traditional way outside of listing an item for a lower price and then having your buddy buy it over and over again to try to convince people that's the price. But that seems like an awful lot of work and probably isn't going to happen very often. So you can avoid price fixers by looking at that. So I would recommend if you use a price checking tool like Exiled Exchange, like I use, you find a setting, if it exists, to only look at instant buyout prices. So when using a price checking tool, right now, if I were to search a bow that hit a few of these parameters and I click search, it's going to show me all of the options. It's got item level and it's got listed. Now, this functionality may come, I don't know, but ideally this would also tell you if it's instant buyout or not. So you can filter maybe somewhere in these settings for instant buyout only. Because if you don't do that, this will still show all the price fixers. So when you are checking an item, you can click trade and open it up in the actual website. And then you can use that to sort if your tool does not have the functionality to only sort by instant buyout only traders. So as a seller, a huge thing, be careful. There's going to be a short delay after you list an item that you can pull that item back. We don't know how much time this is going to be. I assume it's 5 or 10 seconds. But if you have a typo and you click enter, you can pull that item back for a very brief time. So just pay attention, double check your prices. As a buyer, be careful. This new instant buyout system, when you go to a seller's hideout, you're going to be pulling the item that you want out of a tab. The tab is going to have a lot of items in it, most likely. It's likely going to have similar items nearby. Be careful about the one you're clicking. It's very likely that someone that is trying to scam with a headhunter is going to list one and then list several around it that are, say, corrupted or worse roles. There are lots of ways to try to utilize this trade tab system to scam people who are maybe in a hurry or just not really paying attention. Secondly, as a buyer, when you get to a hideout and you look in this person's tab, be careful. It's very likely that people are going to sell things in tabs that have lots of expensive items around, and it's going to entice you to want to look around and see what else is in their shop. Maybe you're buying a belt, and that belt tab also has a headhunter in it. And boy, the price looks really, really cheap, but it actually has 1 charm instead of 3. So be extra, extra careful when buying other items in the tab that you didn't go there to buy. There's some really nice things such as bulk map trading that are going to be enabled by this. So if you go to someone's hideout to buy a bunch of maps, really make sure that you check all the maps first before you buy, because if the tab says tier 15, 6 mod corrupted maps, they may all be corrupted, but they may not all be 6 mods. Another scam that I could see happening is if a tab is listed for something like 20C rares, someone might list all of the items in that tab for 20C and have a bunch of whatever items, and then have one really, really good item that's listed for 20 divines. And in your excitement to find an item in a 20C rare tab, you pay 20 divines and maybe the item is only worth a couple. Remember, the system is about rewarding the fastest person to click, and this is going to cause people to make mistakes. Scammers are going to prey on those mistakes. So in order to protect yourself, just be aware, be cognizant, pay attention, and you're going to have a great time out there in Rayclast. I am so excited about this new trade system. I cannot wait to get in on Friday and test it out. I am going to be running a subathon over on my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/AER0___. So stop by, drop that Twitch Prime, and see how long we can get me to stream for this month. It's also September, so subs are discounted. So if you enjoy the channel, it's a great way to support me. So stop by and say hello. More videos coming before launch, so make sure you're subscribed, comment down below, like the video. All that stuff really helps me out. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for watching. And as always, take care.